Hello, hello, hello. It's your girl, Jeanette Berry, a.k.a. JB, and this is What's Really Good. I don't even know the name of my show. It's called What's Really Good on Skies Crescent Radio. And today we have a lovely conversation with three lovely people. I'm very excited for these guests. They will introduce themselves. And this show is a one that we've got lots of topics about. I mean, not lots of questions and conversation pieces, so we might not do much of the introductions, and we're not going to play a featured song, but we're going to play a song that relates to the show today. So if everybody could go around and introduce themselves, starting with my left. And this is also to test how everybody talks in a mic, because the one to my left doesn't really know how to talk into a mic.
Sure doesn't.
So
as it gets closer.
There you go. There it is. There it is.
Speaking to the mic.
There it is.
Cyrus Aaron, present.
And I'm Nikki Eddy, a.k.a. the lady with a million selfies.
Nice. Con Boogie. I don't have that many selfies.
But you take pictures.
I do a bunch of stuff.
You can.
I know.
Okay.
I'm still in like
shit.
I do a bunch of shit.
So today's episode, we are talking about relationships. And this year, I kind of wanted to stray away from like very generalized topics as far as personal things go. But relationships are the foundation for everything. And so we're going to discuss these topics also still within the intersection of community, culture, and politics. So that will come up, hopefully, if we don't just go on and talking about people ain't shit and all those other things.
It always goes there.
It always goes there. Now, just so you know, we are all heterosexual, cisgendered people. So this conversation is going to skew towards that. Hopefully another day I will have more diverse people on the show. No offense to y'all. Y'all are diverse and look good.
I'm a little offended, but it's okay.
But, you know, we got to get more perspectives in here than our just plain ass, perspectives. But today it's us. And then we also have two people that are in relationships, and then Con and I are not in relationships. Shout out to anybody that's single. You know, this is matchmaking too. Why not?
Find me on Tinder.
Oh no! Oh no!
I don't have Tinder. I don't have none of that anymore. Okay, so we've all introduced ourselves.
No, I'm just like
You're not playing though. That's the funny thing.
No. I mean, it's fun in the sense it's a good laugh if you're bored.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, there's that.
That's
okay.
unfortunate.
It is unfortunate, right?
People are not on there for bored people, right?
No,
so
they're not.
They want more than that.
They do.
Yeah.
They take it serious.
They do. I mean, yeah. I guess
You'd be surprised if you go on there. I think a lot of people aren't taking it seriously.
Oh, aren't?
Yeah.
I mean, whatever. That's why people pay money for Match and eHarmony.
This is true.
That's the real serious if you want to be in a relationship. Tinder's just for
Christian mingle.
Hey, big head.
Okay, so before we get started, when I was living in Philly, there was an ad. This was the worst ad I've ever seen, but the most hilarious one. It was right outside the building on Broad Street in Philly. And it was, oh God, it was a profile of a man and half of a Star of David. And the profile had quite a large nose, and then it was half the Star of David, and then it said J-Date. And I was like, y'all ain't shit.
Wow.
Like, ain't shit. I knew exactly what it was as soon as I saw it, and that's why I laughed, because it was like,
damn,
this is fucked up.
J-Date.
J-Date. That's a thing. Also, farmers meet, like something. There's a farmers one. When I was living in Ohio, there were ads for, farmers dating farmers or people who want to date farmers. So, there's something for everybody.
Okay.
That's true. Plant those seeds.
Did it?
I
I was like,
I had to. That has to be one of us. It has to be one of us.
The pause was there for it. But
Exactly. So the basis of all relationships can be friendship. There's not just romantic relationships. So I just want to kind of get an idea of where everybody's at as far as the importance of relationships, what they mean to you, and, you know, maybe even share like your most important relationship so we can get started with that. So whoever wants to jump in, I don't want to start. Silence.
Pure silence.
I'm just here for the bad jokes.
Can you repeat the question?
So y'all ain't shit. So
place of origin, please.
Right. So relationships are important, not just romantic relationships. And I guess I'll start. So I wanted to bring this up because I feel like in the past year or so, the most important relationships to me have been friendship. They have not been anything romantic or sexual. Everything has been, my focus has been on building quality relationships with my friends and finding new friends to build relationships and then starting that foundation there, because I'm a person that likes to get to know people. And if we have something in common, or if I feel like we are leading down the same path in the world, I want to be around you. Like, I want to get to know you. And that's kind of why all of us are in this room. Excuse me, because I've tried to foster those relationships. Hey, Bridget. Hey, Dro. How are you? If you guys have any questions during this, you can always ask. So I find that those have been the most fruitful, even though I do want to be in a relationship. My friendships have been the most fruitful, and they've been the places where I can learn how to be myself best in order, I guess, to prime myself for said romantic relationship if it's in the cards. So I just wanted to know where you guys were at, especially the non-single folks. Like, what is important, and how do you actually, for y'all too, how do you balance your romantic relationship with your platonic relationships of either sex, whatever it is? Like, do you feel like there's a balance? How does that work? Talk to us.
The balance has to lean in favor of the person that you're with. And I've learned that lesson the hard way, because I'm such a big advocate for a community and tribe. And so I'm always like, you know, trying to meet new people, especially creatives in the city, and like, yo, let's connect, let's build. But then sometimes it's like, are you putting too much attention on the calls outside of the household? And are you like leaving your partner behind? And I've even heard this quite a few times from my lady. She'll be like, yo, I know you got this mission. I know you're trying to do all these things, but focus, like, pay attention over here. Like, do what I need you to do. Show me the same commitment. Put me first. And in my bigger calls and in my passion, in my pursuit, I'm just like, okay, let me reassess. Let me bring it back home and do what I'm supposed to do on this end. And so there is a balance that you have to make sure that you maintain, but it does have to lean in favor of your partner. And yet at the same time, they also have to understand. They learn how to understand what you're about and what you're doing, making sure that you are acting in a way with integrity and focus, that it is bigger than just, you know, your own like selfish desires to be out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I can definitely agree with what you're saying, but I want to go back to your first question, Jeanette. And the most important relationship, other than my friendships, that I found was a relationship with myself. Like, I needed to love myself more. Yeah. I needed to work on me more. I wasn't doing what I needed to do for myself. And I needed to fall in love with myself again. And then I needed the support of my friends like you to continue on that journey and continue to grow as an individual. And then I'm in my new relationship now. And I'm happy. And again, I agree with Cyrus, what you said. Like, I lean towards him a lot. It is my relationship with him. Right. And I still have my friends. So, you know. Yeah.
Khan, do you have anything to say?
Yeah, actually. I think my relationships in the past 2 years have changed as far as just cutting out more toxic people. I feel like quality instead of quantity has been an important thing. And then friends that I've had for a while that I haven't connected with as much as I want to, such as yourself. I feel like within the last year, you and me have connected much more. It's just doing more things like that. And I think I agree with you also. Like, I am looking to be in a relationship. I don't think a lot of people know that.
Now you heard it first.
But, you know, it's got to be right. And so I'm kind of, you know, I guess I have this kind of checklist for myself and how I view myself now and the things that I'm proud of. And it's like I want that in a partner. So, you know,
So I like where
like
you're
that?
going. I do. I like that. So as far as lists go,
Yeah.
what do you mean by that checklist for yourself? Let me just ask that. What do you mean by that checklist for yourself?
Just my accomplishments, and I think what I have to offer someone else.
Okay, so that's a positive checklist.
Yeah.
A lot of the times when I hear checklists, especially when it comes to men, like when men are speaking for about women that they want to talk to, I need to have this. So if I'm going to find myself a woman that I believe I deserve and deserves me, I need to have, I need to not be in debt. I need to have a job and 2 side hustles. I need to make this amount of money. I need to have a house or on the way to have, like, all of these things. And
they need to be ready.
They need to be ready. But
Yeah.
a lot
you're
of
never ready.
Exactly.
You're never ready.
You're never ready. Relationships, like after that, kids. If you're talking faith, it's like you'll never be at that that highest peak of perfection. And so and being honest with yourselves and saying, okay, who am I? What are my goals? What am I working toward? But also, am I comfortable with who I am now?
Yeah.
And then as you accept that, you can then be open to meeting the right people as opposed to closing them off and not giving them the chance.
So let me ask you a personal question. How do you feel like you've grown, or talk to us about your growth between being not ready, but being able to have that space where you want to grow and where you can grow? What did that journey look like for you? Because you've clearly not been this person that you are today your entire life.
Yeah, absolutely not. No.
But what did that look like to you, just so we can get an idea of, because we don't, the examples of relationships that we have, and we'll talk about that in a second, we never see the bumps and the bruises unless it's for dramatic effect on the Real Housewives of Atlanta or soap opera. You know what I mean? We saw all the bumps and bruises of things that are overly dramatic, but we don't see the bumps and bruises of people as they're learning how to go through relationships, the work. So talk to us a little bit about the work that you've done. You don't have to have specifics, but whatever you want to share, and what that kind of looked like for you, since you say that nobody will ever be ready.
Yeah, I think my journey is interesting because I didn't get in my first relationship until I was 27. I didn't have an official girlfriend. We're dating. We're together. We're partners. We're teammates.
Till 27?
Wow.
Right.
Wow.
I was out here just bouncing, playing the field. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so there's a lot that I've had to learn now, soon to be 34, in these past 7 years, being in a relationship that lasted for 3 years and then breaking up, and then now being in a new relationship that's approaching a year and a half. I've learned so much about myself because essentially when you're always independent, you do kind of build this this path of selfishness.
Yeah.
But it's not necessarily a negative thing because I'm also very self-reliant.
Mm-hmm.
I'm self-sufficient. In that regard, where I can maintain and hold myself down.
Yeah.
I had to learn how to open up and consider someone else.
Yeah.
And so that's been a very trying process. But at the same time, at this place in my life, my focus is on it, and it's something that I want. And so I know that it's a ongoing process.
Yeah.
And relationships are growth.
Yeah.
So you're going to have those bumps and bruises. You're going to have those good times where it's easy, but you're also going to have to continue to assess yourself. What do I want now? What do I want next? Where am I really answering those hard questions?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's been my path. My path.
You mind if I piggyback off of that?
Yeah.
I think also at this stage, because we're all in our 30s.
30 Club, shout out.
30 Club.
Nicole about to be there.
I feel-
don't push it.
I feel like
I got 2 more months.
I feel like people are too hard on the people that they're looking for. I think there's something to be said about also building together.
Yeah.
Because we're, at the end of the day, it's a front. It's I'm not all the way there.
No.
I'm not as successful as I
Right.
want to be. But does that mean I don't deserve a relationship because I'm not at that stage?
Word.
And God knows what a relationship could do for the trajectory of your life.
Yeah.
For real.
Your goals can completely change.
That's right.
So yeah, I just wanted to add that.
Yeah, that's real.
It's true. They say like behind every good man is a good woman, whatever that is, like that adage, which is played out and corny. But to your point, if you've got somebody who recognizes and understands what you want to do as a person, what you want to be, how you want to move in the world, and they can support that, like that's really what I'm looking for. Like, I need you to know that this is me, all of it. Like, it's not really going to change that much as far as who I am, but what might change is how I get there and what I want and how I do these things. And I need somebody that's going to be able to see me for that, not hold me on a pedestal. That's been one of my biggest issues. Holding people on pedestals and just showing, and it took a lot to show the real me, but as I've learned to love myself, you learn that, okay, I need somebody that's going to love me for my ugliest moments, even if you don't like me for them. Like, you don't have to like me in the moment. My mother said this all the time. Like, I can love you, but I don't have to like you. Like, as your mother, like, I will love you, but I don't have to like you. I'm glad I like you.
That's real.
And
That's
it is,
real.
and it's,
That's super real.
sometimes we don't like ourselves, but that doesn't mean, to your point, that we don't deserve love. And I had to get over that. I thought if I wasn't perfect,
Yeah,
and
I was going to say that the idea of perfection.
Woo,
What?
like, what is that?
What is that?
What
yeah,
is that?
Yeah,
And
it's just an illusion
it is
that there's perfection out
absolutely,
there, and that's what we're aiming for in a relationship.
Yeah,
Like, this is what we need. I need someone to be perfect, and I need to be perfect in order for us to come together. I can't grow with you. There's nothing to grow about. We're there already. That's it.
yeah.
Right.
What?
So,
Like-
it's like,
Like,
no,
we're
it's
just
not
gonna like,
not
no,
how it
that's not
works.
life.
Yeah.
And I think we're fed so often what life should look like, this big overarching thing of what life should be, what success means. We're all artists, so we understand that too. Other people's versions of success on our lives, like, that's not real life. But we are fed Disney.
Yep.
We are fed romantic comedies.
Yeah.
We are fed sitcoms. We are fed these illusions of what life could be as a couple, as a family, and where else can we go for those healthy things?
That's a good point.
We lack, a lot can be said about the lack of examples of
And
quality
content, real content.
and real content. Not only in entertainment, though, but also in real life. Like, how many of us and how many people do we know have seen fully successful marriages?
I've seen a couple.
I've seen a couple too, but like parentals haven't.
What do you mean by successful?
So I mean by successful, what
Let's be
you-
clear. They're
successful.
still together.
that's not necessarily.
That's what I'm
successful.
saying. Like,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
need clarification.
Yeah. So
It's like endurance.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm
Exactly.
like. Let's be clear.
What do you? So I think I mean mostly about success is our personal versions of it. So have we seen what we want our relationship to be in somebody else?
No.
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 I have.
Awesome. Tell us
Oh.
about it.
Well,
Since
shout
you're-
out to my uncle. My uncle and my aunt, they've been together for almost 50 years now.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's not like one of those relationships where you could tell like they hate each other. They just like live in the same house.
Yeah.
Like they genuinely love each other still.
Yeah.
You know? And you could see it by the way my uncle looks at my aunt.
Yeah.
And my aunt puts up with my uncle's shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
and they've raised the whole family together. And to me, it was never, and this, what we were speaking about before, about gender roles, she always worked, he always worked,
Yeah.
you know? And I feel like their quality of life was much better because he didn't have to work double as hard so she could raise the kids.
Word.
Like, they both worked. They both found a way to raise, you know, my cousins.
Mm-hmm.
And then they were able to travel every year and do things together.
Yeah.
And I feel like people miss that part of it.
Yeah.
You know, and going back to what we were talking about before, I think not everybody wants to grow. A lot of people have gotten to this point and they're happy where they are. So they want either someone to take care of them, and so that way they can stay where they are,
Yeah.
you know? So I don't know. And that's my view of
Yeah.
what a successful relationship is going through those trials and tribulations, working together.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not strong enough. Cool, I got you.
Yeah.
Now you're not strong enough. I got you. And then the years pass. And hopefully you guys continue staying in love or finding things that you love about each other.
Yeah. That's nice.
I think we're in a really interesting place now because we get to, and it's a privilege and a luxury to a certain extent that we get to really contemplate and examine what we want and who we are. And I think so many generations before us didn't get this opportunity.
That's very true.
To reflect. You know what I mean? Like to sit back and say, what is it that I like and appreciate about, my uncle and my aunt's relationship, and then what in their relationship do I want to maintain and create space for in my own, like that is such a beautiful thing that we get to do that. And to your point in your first topic is, I think sometimes we then enforce these very strict ways in how we regulate that, and then we kind of put ourselves in these very limited spaces where it's it's too hard or too difficult to actually be what we want because we've now thought so much about it. We've created such a large picture in our minds. It's but it's not real. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword where we have the fortune to consider and to imagine, but then at the same time, are we imagining things that are a bit unrealistic for just everyday human life?
I have big standards for myself, and I've been and in everything, and I've just been kind of not chopping the standards down, but just being like, hey, this is a little unrealistic. Dreams and goals and shit are fantastic, but however, you can't expect yourself. You're just putting too much on yourself. Whoever said that earlier, that's just what it is. You're putting too much on yourself, and that's never a good thing. I just finished reading. I'm gonna fucking tell everybody about this book because I think it's amazing. I just finished reading Bell Hooks' All About Love.
Go get that.
Go get it. Even if you're not a feminist or a womanist, she's a for real feminist, and that should be known before you read the book because it does skew. Actually, I wonder sometimes because I'm a womanist, so I kind of read it in that sense. I wonder if it does read very womanist, very feminist to other people that aren't, but I'll ask somebody who's read it one day. Hint, hint. Okay.
Book club.
Book club, start a book club. But one of the things that was spoken about in the book a lot of is that we don't know how to love. And I just kind of want to hear from you guys what you think love is and how we can nurture that. But firstly, what do you all think love is? Hi, Jason. Hi, everybody. First of all, I'm not a feminist. I don't... Shut up.
First off. Right?
That's already what he said. Gosh. So what is your idea of love? And not romantic, but what does love look like to you? Actually... Just what does love look like to you? Spit out some words.
Attention.
Attention. Oh, that's interesting. That's
and not in the way that I guess people would take that, but I don't know. When you love something, you pay attention to it.
Okay.
And
I like
and
that.
it's not I need love, so pay attention to me. It's not like that.
Thank
it's
you for clarification.
Right.
Because because what we thought I think of initially was attachment.
Yeah, no.
That's a good one, actually, because I just had a conversation. This is a soft and unintentional plug.
Everybody looked at me so crazy.
Wait a minute, what? Attention.
You're emotional cancer ass.
No.
My homegirl was talking to me, and she said she really loves the Ella Mai song with John Legend. I think it's called Everything.
I love that song.
And I've heard it, but I guess I never actually listened to the words. And basically just says how he pays attention, her boyfriend or man of interest pays attention to everything about her. And so it's that attention to detail about the person that you're with.
We were just talking about this.
That to me, that's the definition of love. I think we forget that what we're passionate about, we geek out on. We learn everything about it. And then it's why don't we have that same outlook with the person we're with?
Right.
It's we'll spend hours as a musician, learning a guitar, but then spend 10 minutes on our girl. Oh, sorry.
I have nothing to say.
I'm very passionate.
Just do it on your thigh.
I'm a Latin man. I bang things. That sounds horrible, right? Damn. All right.
We all know what you meant.
But
we also know where we took it too,
yeah,
so it's okay.
That's fine. We're all in the gutter.
The pendulum swings.
drops mic.
Inside joke.
Inside joke. Oh God.
But yeah, and I mean, just me personally, I realized that, and I think I realized that recently.
Yeah.
Like, I realized that being in a toxic relationship and having someone who didn't give me that attention that, you know, I was giving them without knowing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then realizing, like, I think that's what, like, love is. Like, I should explore this feeling, because why do I feel cheated?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah.
Love to you, Nicole.
The first word, honestly, was respect.
RESPECT.
Respecting each other's needs
Mm-hmm.
as individuals and as a unit. Just, this is how we're going to work together. Respect what I need. Yeah.
Now, how does that not look selfish to somebody else? Because my first thought when you said that was like, bet, respecting my needs. I get that. But how... And the other person has to be on the same wavelength. Like, you have to...
it is.
We have to respect each other's needs. Okay, just wanted to clarify that. Yeah, because... You know, some like people respect my needs. Nah, respect both of our needs.
Yes, as a unit, you just respect each other.
Each other's needs. Okay,
That's
Cyrus.
what love is for me.
Responsibility, and I think that speaks to the work that relationships require. And so your approach to taking care of, caring for, being available, being present. Nurturing, like, all that is about just responsibility, accountability, you know, like knowing what it is that you have before you, that how valuable this person is, and then how valuable you are as well. And so you're responsible to not only them but yourself. And so maintaining that energy between two people.
I love that. We've got some comments. So agreeing to work on yourself on behalf of others, so that goes a little bit to all of everybody's. Love is, I agree with this 10,000-fold. Love is the work you sign up to do every day, which is really true. Because if it's not, because you have to do that for yourself too. We all wake up every day, and just some days, well, prayerfully, we all wake up every day, and we have thus far to this day. And something we could, like, hate about ourselves one morning, like, God damn it, I'm so fucking bloated. What the fuck is this pimple? God, did I really tell that man that I had to wash my hands after I shook his hand, but it was because my hand was sticky from my tangerine? That's literally what I thought one day. Like,
tangerine hands.
Yo,
ruining
it's real.
Everything.
Ruining everything. I didn't mean to insult you, sir.
I had my chance.
My hands were sticky and you knew it.
And this vegan lifestyle.
And you knew
ruined
it. I want some pizza. But showing up every day, and I think we forget that, and a lot of the times we can hear that love is 50-50, or like there's percentages to that shit. There will be times, and I know this because just from friendships and just loving other people, there will be times when it has to be 80-20. There will be times when it has to be 60-40.
90-10.
99
to
1.
5-5.
I do math at work. I'm tired.
Carry the 3.
And you have to understand that that's just what it's gonna be. It's not always about you. It's about the partnership. And if y'all can't see that, and if you can't come to terms with that, which I also think speaks to your point, what are you in it for? Like, you can't be selfish when it comes to this. And I put up a Facebook post about people doing things for other people, just intrinsically. Like, are we as a people that naturally just are selfish? And I don't believe we are. I believe we've been trained to be selfish in the negative way. I believe we've been trained to think solely of ourselves, and then the other people come as a background in the negative way. Like I said, you know, we have to love ourselves first, but everything that we do can't be for ourselves. Everything that we do can't be for just the service of our interests. And that's, for me, what I think creates horrible relationships. So I'm going to look at our topics because we've really not talked about any of them yet. And I would love Jade to play this song. So this, just a little background. This week I have been obsessed with this song, and it's a song that everybody knows, but this recording of it was not featured on his live album. This is Donny Hathaway's version of A Song for You, and when I heard him sing it this way, I understood the lyrics. And that's the first time I really understood. It's also what's also going on in my life. So as a musician, I believe that music is timeless if it can touch people way after it was created. And this one did that for me, and this is called A Song for You.
I've been so many places in my life and time. I've sung a lot of songs. I've made some bad rhymes. I've acted out my life in stages. 10,000 people watching. But we're alone now, and I'm singing this song to you. I know your image of me is what I hope to be. I treated you unkindly, but darling, can't you see? There's no one more important to me. Baby, can't you see through me? 'Cause we're alone now, and I'm singing this song to you. You taught me precious secrets of a true love, withholding nothing. You came out in front when I was hiding. But now I'm so much better. And if my words don't come together, listen to the melody, 'cause my love is in there hiding. I love you for my life. You're a friend of mine. and I was singing this song to you. We were alone, and I was singing this song. Singing this song to you.
Exhale, baby.
An exhale on that.
You could tell whoever he was singing about that he put them through hell. That's what I kept thinking
That's so
about. I was like, man, I need to write this crazy song to make up for all the shit I put this person through.
I think when you listen to the words, when I listened to the words this time, I realized like being alone with somebody and like taking a song and singing it for them. Like I don't know why it. That's a lie. I know exactly why. But anyway, when you have that special moment with somebody that it's just y'all, or it cannot be just y'all, but it's in that moment, it's just the two of you. And it's like, I know what you think isn't what I am. I know that I haven't done right, but here I am. Like I'm showing up. I'm here. This song is for you. Like I have nothing else but this song, and this is what I'm giving you. And that's what I took from that version of that song this time. Well, that's nice. That's lovely. Rest in peace, Donny Hathaway. Very, very, very underrated, I think, as far as the world goes. Okay, so let's bring it back on a happy, higher note. So we've got topics here that we wanted to discuss. We've kind of mentioned a few of these. Let's have a little fun. Gentlemen,
Okay.
how do you feel about ladies shooting their shot?
Shoot it. Shoot it.
No.
So why should we shoot our shot? Like
Why not? Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
What besides, I think we kind of like touched on this throughout, like what outside of the projected social norm says you can't? What outside of TV shows and movies and books says you can't?
And the patriarchy. No.
tried to get you tried to get real feminist on me. You said, I'm throwing your shit
Bring
right
that
in your
feminist
face.
game in there.
Yeah, right?
I just don't see. I just don't see a valid reason why you can't, and especially if we're talking about speaking our truths.
Mm-hmm.
To say that you have interest in someone, and to express yourself freely, I don't think there's a problem there. I think it's the response from the other individual, and then also what you do with those two truths. So, like, whether or not they're just as serious and interested in you, like, that becomes a bigger picture. But in that initial conversation, in that initial pull-up shot, shoot it.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, tradition, right?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we live in a time where let's start breaking tradition. You know, like, because what happens is I feel like it permeates into every facet of dating. Now it's not only I'm going to wait for him to shoot his shot, but now when we're actually communicating, I'm going to wait for him to bring up every question. And I'm going to wait for him to pick where we go. And I'm going to wait for all those things. And I'm not saying that's every woman.
No, I'm asking because you think it sets the precedence for the rest of the relationship.
Not the rest of the relationship, but the rest of the courting process. I feel like now it's like I expected him to come to me, he did. I expected him to buy me a drink, he did. I expected him to ask for my number, he did. Now he has my number, I'm expecting him to initiate conversation. And then it's like, it's expecting the man to do everything.
Passion.
Shit.
We should have brought a pillow. We should have brought a pillow for you.
I need self-control. But yeah, and I feel like it gets tiring as a man. Like, I've been single for over a year now, and I've noticed that, like, even in the conversation, like, I'll get bored. I'm like, yo, I done asked you every single question, and you haven't not once asked me anything. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, all right, cool, I'm bored. And then on their end, they're like, oh, maybe they think he ghosted me. And I'm like, nah, because you're just not engaging with me. You're expecting me to make all the moves. And in this day and age, it's like, bro, step your game up. Like,
ooh, step your game up.
Bruh.
Oh, sis, step your game up.
So, right, I have shot my shot before. And what has happened, and why I think I'm a little hesitant, is that I then become, like you said, that role is now put on me. So like, I am now the initiator of everything. But then what happens is, you won't let me be a man. Well, sir, I came to you. So are you saying that now that I put on, because I shot my shot, are you saying that I'm the man in this relationship right now? And if I am, like, what makes you a man? Like, I don't understand. Like, how am I not letting you be a man? Like, you knew that I shot my shot, but you, like, it can't just be all on me. And when it's not all on me, like, you're not giving me anything.
The male ego is definitely tested in that.
Okay, so you both.
Like it
it's
sounds
definitely
like it
tested
sounds
in
like
that.
a power dynamic, and I guess maybe that's, especially now at this place in my life, that's not where I am. And staying with the analogy, it's like that one shot doesn't represent the game for me.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So
Okay.
it's
I
like,
like that. That
so
was
if you
such
put
a great
that,
analogy.
Jeanette, if you come and you say, and you show the first sign of interest, how we continue to go from here is on both of us.
It's
right?
very true. Very true.
If the dude chooses, oh man, she approached me, now I got to shut down. Well, bro, you ain't the one. Like, if that's your
Very
response
true. Very true.
to
Yeah.
me taking initiative and just telling you, oh, you look fly, like, you smell good, whatever your game is, I don't know, but it's like whatever you say, whatever you say to a guy to get him like, okay, she likes me.
Yeah.
It's like if that's his response, and he chooses to sit on the bench for the rest of the game, it's like, well, brother, you ain't the one I want to play with.
That's true. That is very true.
If his ego is that fragile,
right?
It's just like,
She
Ooh.
didn't
We got a lot of comments.
40.
Yeah, I'm trying to
No.
see these.
I'm sure the ladies were like,
No women have.
whoever that dude is, fuck him, man.
Hi, Noemi. Yo, fuck that dude. So, Jason, the rules that we were discussing about the tradition, those rules are defined by single bitter women, is what he said.
Oh, I didn't say that.
That's
Just
what
making
Jason
that clear. I
said.
didn't say that. Jason said that.
Jason said that. Can't let a man be a man. We are. I mean, okay, you're right, but I've been told before that I have not let a man be a man, and I don't know what that means. Like, I'm a woman. I'm being a woman. How am I not letting you be a man? Because, and I guess, and looking back, right? Hindsight is 20/20. Looking back, this person did come from a very traditional home, so I can understand why maybe me being the breadwinner was him thinking that I wasn't letting him be a man. Me taking care of things wasn't letting him be a man. But I mean, if shit wasn't gonna be taken
Who's
care
gonna
of,
do it?
who's gonna do it? So I have to do it. So that is really not on me,
It's
right?
not.
That's on him and that situation.
I think that is a good conversation that couples or maybe not in the courting process, but like if you're in that step where this could potentially lead to a relationship, how do you participate within the patriarchal structure? Right?
Yeah.
Like, what side of the table are you on? Because how do you define what being a man is? And if it's only external things, if it's all these means of transactions, then there really is no depth there.
Absolutely.
And so I think people need to have that conversation. I think that's a very good conversation to start. Maybe a little too deep. It may create
Never
foes.
too deep.
It may create foes or some bad energy, but I really think that's a very necessary conversation now, especially as we talk about, equality and talking about, kind of dismantling like these old power structures that are just, get in the way of happiness and bliss, good vibes.
I know that in my relationship, because it's long distance, I can't rely on the external stuff. You know, there's not these gifts, there's not these presents, there's not these dates and dinners and stuff like that. It's all conversation that we have. And I feel like a woman in my relationship, and he feels like the man in the relationship. And it's such a good and peaceful balance that we have between each other. So I just love him. I just wanted to say that on the radio.
Aw, hey, Nico.
Long distance.
Yeah.
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 I did a long distance relationship once, and it's the same one that I'm referencing. So, we see where that went.
Right.
We see what happened there. Anybody else done long distance relationships?
I did Harlem and Brooklyn.
That's long.
Listen, for
That's
New
long.
Yorkers,
For
that's
New
a long
Yorkers,
distance
it's a
relationship.
I've done Jersey to New York.
Oh,
That's
God.
not really too.
No,
crazy.
no, it is still.
It's a
Let's-
trek.
Yeah.
Jersey is another borough to many people. So,
Yeah. But she had a car, so it was cool.
oh, that's nice.
Did you pay for gas?
So I was in a different place in my life.
I was not,
This was many years ago.
Did you
Many
gas
years
her
ago.
up or did you gas her up?
Oh, this is what happens when we have writers at the table.
The wordplay came out.
So even though I had not a great experience with long distance relationships, I do believe that they can work. But I believe the communication has to be right. And I saw a really dope quote. You know, the internet gives you gems and then not gems. It gives you gems and coal. But it was about communication, and that relationships don't necessarily rely on communication. You can communicate, you can talk, but if somebody's not comprehending or listening to what you're saying, that's not effective communication. And we do have to look at that fact. We do have to look at what communicating is, and what can constitute, and again, it's different for everybody, but what constitutes good communication, what constitutes poor communication. As a woman who dates men, there have been moments where you can hear that women are naggy. Have you this is basically turned into like me asking the men like
All the questions I've been wanting to
yeah, right?
ask.
Like, what are
we
y'all
doing?
doing?
What we doing?
What do you tell me about that statement to y'all? Like that women can be naggy. Have you used it? You don't have to answer that, but like, what's nagging? What's nagging to y'all? Is it?
I don't think I've ever.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever experienced that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
I mean, I'm a firm believer in that every feeling is valid, even if I don't understand it. Like, you're entitled to feel how you feel and
Yeah.
to speak about it, and I will try my best to see things from your point of view or your perspective. And then we go from there, and how can I help fix it? Luckily, like I said, I've never been in a relationship where I felt like, damn, why you nagging so much? I've never had that, really.
Yeah, no, the same. I've never been in a relationship like that. I think on the flip side of that, I think for me, I've been focusing on communicating more.
Yeah.
And like sharing my feelings, which tend to be withheld, especially when you're talking about like traditional men.
Yeah.
You know, so that's probably my bigger focus. We're just like opening up that door for conversations of self and like what I'm feeling, even if it's something small.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And choosing, just to be real in a moment.
That's great.
Yeah, I was actually about to say that. I've probably been more considered a nagger.
Really?
Yeah, like the one that nags. I mean, but this is more recent development. Just because when you're with someone who doesn't comprehend, I feel like you have to find different ways of saying the same thing. So eventually it sounds like you're nagging because
Yeah.
you're bringing up the same thing just in different ways. So in that way, maybe I was the nagging party in
Interesting.
the situation.
I've been a nagger before, not in this present relationship, but I wanted to bring up in the past, I was in a relationship with a guy for a while, and then suddenly his life fell apart. He lost his job. He had to support his family. And I'm not the kind of girl that likes gifts or things like that. So I never asked for anything, but I asked him, what are you going to do? How are you going to get out of this situation? What do we need to do? Like, how can I help?
Yeah.
And he snapped, saying that I'm a nagger and getting on his back. And I feel as if when men said that we nag in those situations, it's again the test of the male ego. Like, I'm only here to help you.
Yeah,
I'm questioning these things because these are questions we need answers to.
absolutely.
And if you want me here in your life and you're going through this, how can I help you? And I'm not nagging, and then you're just going to push me away.
And that's
Yeah.
when it gets muddy. Like, 'cause if he thinks that his role and job and responsibility is to lead and to make the decisions and choices and to like navigate for the both of you, then your help is never valid. Your help is
Exactly.
never cool. And so then the response is
Exactly.
Right, yeah. Which is unfortunate. Like that, we really do have to work on that and change that whole dynamic. Because then you end up forfeiting something that could potentially be really helpful, healthy to you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know?
But people have to be ready for it.
True. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And
absolutely.
you know, it's about trusting yourself to know yourself, and then it's also about trusting the other person and making that space for that person.
Yeah.
We got some comments. Hey y'all. Hey Danielle.
Hey, y'all.
Who else is here? Hey Ozzy. So Made by D Janelle has joined. Hey boo.
Dom in the building.
Dom is here. Okay, so what did you ask? Oh, what's their definition of nagging? Asking questions. That's not a nagging scenario. Thank you, Ozzy. She was trying to help him. Yes. That's good. What's good? Dominique says, yo, y'all are funny. So shoot, I was going to say something before I went to this.
You got it. You got it.
It's right there.
You got it.
Oh, this is not helping.
You
You
got
all
it.
are stressing me out.
Pressure.
Damn it, I really forgot it.
Say
It's
something.
so
Say
sad.
something.
Oh
Say
my god.
something.
Oh my
Say
god.
something.
Do you guys have anything do you want to talk about? Don't you want to? Because I forgot it. It's completely gone now. And I have all of our topics, but it was kind of here, but it wasn't.
It was in between.
It was in between. It was an in between one. In between. All right. So we've talked about the emotional as fuck con. A little bit. I said that earlier. I love you so much. We've talked about gender roles. We just touched on communication, and the nagging factor. We've talked about what love looks like to us. Do y'all have any questions for them? For us, nagging is generally asking in the way a parent would. Jason says. So like
Something condescending.
yeah,
Which is
something like
which is never leads to anything good. So.
ever. Ever.
So you just gonna put that right there? Just-
Like that's what are you saying? Like what do you need from me? Where are you going? What are you doing? Who are you with?
Yeah.
that
Why are you
being
wearing
black
that?
shit.
All them things. General types of nagging. I don't know if I've ever been a nagger, but I don't know. I kind of think too highly of myself at this moment to make that.
I'll take it.
There's a way to engage without being a parent. Presumption of dysfunction. Look at y'all rhyming. Okay, Ozzy has a question. I have a question. I didn't read that. I didn't just read that.
Okay.
I swear to God, I'm not drunk. Ooh, so this is the question. How much time do we have, Jade? Okay, this is a good time for
Final
questions.
question.
So the question is, what is everyone's thoughts on the limits of changing somebody?
Oh,
So can we change someone?
no.
No.
Absolutely
No,
not.
Don't try.
Wow, that was easy.
Don't take on that challenge. I think you can encourage someone. You can motivate them naturally,
Yeah.
like using what comes to you or what you actually have possession of. But if you have dictated what the outcome needs to be, it's a losing shot.
Yeah.
Like, it's not gonna work.
Yeah. You got to fall in love with the person, not the potential.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
they won't be able to maintain it themselves if it's your own goal for them.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that you like in education, like with students. It's like you can't you have to be careful how you incentivize things or how you reward achievements or accolades.
Yeah.
Like if the person isn't inspired to do that or be that, it's a losing game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For you, I was a flame. Sorry. Love is a losing game. Another question from Dom. Is it frequency or based on if the questions are hitting soft spots, going back to nagging? So is it the frequency of questions or is the person just saying shit that you don't want to deal with?
To me, I think it's both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's when it really hits you.
Yeah.
You know, if it's just like, take out the trash, you're like, that's not really. I'm like, all right.
All right, I got to take out the
But
trash.
if it's like, you know, something real serious, like,
yeah.
then, you know, like, why you
You're
keep
gonna
liking
get
big booty
evicted.
pictures
What are we gonna
on
do?
Instagram?
That's a serious question.
Did you look for a job today?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Marcus got a job, y'all.
Oh, that's horrible. Do we have any other questions in the house for our folks here? I have a question for you guys while we wait for questions. Would you ever consider oh God. Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
do. Would you ever consider non-traditional relationships like polyamorous, whatever the man version is, because I believe polyamorous is women. So what we're
Polyandry,
yeah.
I think-
That's
and then probably
it is just love. Jade says it's just love. I hear you. I did you just change what's love to just love? Okay. I believe that we are now in a great time in our society for relationships like this to be not even acceptable, but be good, because our economics aren't great. So I mean, I've just pictured this in my head. So let me just tell y'all, like,
break it down.
I
break it
kinda
down.
know-
Break it down.
I feel like I know
I
what
already
you're
have
saying.
3 men that I would ask to be my husbands.
Okay.
Like, easy. Like, if they were into it, I'd be like, you have this role, you have this role, you have this role. And role being, this person is good at this, which can help us have this. This person is good at this, which can help us have this. This person is good as this, which can help at this. So, for instance, I've got a creative. I've got a person who can build things, and then I've got a person who can do other things.
My mind just got dirty.
No,
Other
all
things.
of them. All 3. See, there's the
She's
thing.
like, all 3 of them could get it. That's
exactly.
besides the
all
point.
3 of them, we will be having sex. Like, that's not the thing. This ain't nobody where, oh, you're just gonna be over there for this. No, the thing. No,
you just here for IKEA.
yeah,
and that's it.
exactly. They all the freaks. It's all love. It is all love. Okay, polyandry is many men, polygamy is many female. Okay, so I believe that it can work, and because if you do it right and you have the right intentions, this is not just about sex. This is about building a community as the way that I see it, and building the life that you want to have with people. If you then have all these children, it's like going back to biblical times, kind of, if you think about it. And it works for some people, doesn't work for others. But to be able to build with 3 different men minimum, and create this life that will exceed the expectations of just one-to-one can do. And when I say that, I also believe that it's okay if the other man has another wife, because I can't just do everything, right? So it would just be this whole big mess of stuff. But I believe that it's possible, and it's real, and it's kind of important for the times in which we live, because if one man can have a farm and that can tend that farm, then the other man can run the business of the farm, and then the other man can market the farm. That's the kind of thing that I'm looking for. It's because marriage to me is not just about love. It's about how we're going to build this community up and stuff like that. So I just wanted to, that's true. Okay. Any thoughts? I'll read those in a second.
It seems so complicated.
It actually is. I think in theory, it's like, it's like communism, right? It looks nice on paper.
Yeah.
But then it's like once you're like, oh, wait a minute, I have to pay the same amount of attention to all 3 of these men.
That's true.
You
But
know?
it wouldn't be all the same amount of attention, because 3 different people have 3 different needs.
No, granted, but
I see what you're saying.
Like, let's say if you're using the farm as an example, it's
Mhm.
like now all of you live on this farm. So it's like if you're showing one of them more attention than the other, they're going to see.
That's true.
It's not like, and the reason why I say that is because I've known people in polyamorous relationships. And it's like you multiply that by as many people. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And it becomes very difficult. Very, very birthdays and wants and needs and even sex.
No, absolutely.
Like
I get
you could run through 2 of your husbands and be
I
like,
know.
you know what, I'm just not.
And then the
And
other
he's
one
gonna
is
be like, yo, I've been waiting. What's
yeah,
good?
That's true. That's true.
You know,
That's
like
true. That's true.
so.
Any other thoughts?
It's
No.
just too much penis. That's just all I have to say. I can't.
Too much penis. All right, so our live video has ended, but I'm gonna save it. So before we go, thank you all so much for being on. I want to shout out Jade and I want to shout out Skies Crescent Radio. If you like what you're hearing, we have a bunch of other shows and you can also become a patron on Patreon. So please go to our website, skiescrescentradio.com. Sign up. You can give $5 a month and you will be helping us to continue this radio network. Everybody, if you want to just leave your ats and then we can call it a day. Con.
At Con_Boogie. KON.
KON.
At Lady with a Million Selfies, all one word.
At officially Psy.
At JB_SoulNerd. This has been What's Really Good Radio on Skies Crescent Radio. Thank you all so much. You can also find us on Spotify. Love you all. Have a great day.